What better way to end today than with a post game right here inside of Kenan Stadium? What's going on, guys? Nathan here, one half of your Hill Brothers. And North Carolina just secured a 41-6 win over the Richmond Spiders in this field right here behind me. This was a interesting game for North Carolina coming in. It was a game that had a lot of questions. I feel like we got some answers today for sure as well, and I had my first time ushering, just finished up with that, got some cool swag and everything else. It was a great time with that, by the way. I had a lot of fun doing that, and can't wait for you guys to see some of that a little bit. I wasn't able to record a ton today, but definitely just a little bit. But let's talk about this game, man. North Carolina came out offensively and definitely was still very lethargic in a sense. They just seemingly couldn't get going. Defense, to me, played a very good game today. There was only really one drive there close to the, I think it was the end of the first half, where they had 3 points. They were trying to score the touchdown to get them to 10. But North Carolina's defense held out and did what they needed to do, and they stopped a fourth down conversion. I think it was a 4th and 2 there, and they were able to really contain that. But I felt like North Carolina offensively still had a lot of questions. Gio, to me, looked very, as you would say, he looks like he's searching for some answers. And he's searching for something, and he's thinking too much about it. But I felt like he kind of started to settle down a smidge. He only had 119 yards passing today. He was 10-18, which isn't, groundbreaking by any stretch of the imagination. But there was, I think the offense has found, if one thing I think they found an answer at running back, Damon June, 14 for 148 on the day. Dude is an absolute stud. We talked about him coming into this game. I personally think Damon has solidified himself moving forward. We'll see next week against UCF. But I think you can expect Damon June to get a lot more carries for this North Carolina team moving forward. True freshman, a guy that is, he plays with some nasty, man. He does, and I love him to death, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does moving forward. But North Carolina on the offensive side, they were trying to spread it out a little bit more today. There was some missed throws there by Gio, some missed windows and some throws to some targets that were a little bit, they were covered. And kind of some head scratchers, if you will, at times. But I felt like, at the end of the day, North Carolina was able to get going, and the offensive line played fairly decent, in my opinion. There were a couple of times where there was a couple of, series where, maybe some tackles would get blown up or something like that. But I felt like overall, offensive line did a decent job today. Still a lot to be desired, and a lot more improvement to have. But, for this team to be a beat-up offensive line, I felt like they did all right. So that's something good. They had Richmond has a nice edge rusher in Camden. I can't remember his last name. Camden Bird, I think that's what it is. Dude's pretty nice, and Aiden Buchanan was matched up with him a ton, the true freshman over there, and I felt like he fared pretty well against him. There was some times. The interior D-line is still a question mark for me. I felt like C.J. Mims got pushed around a little bit today, and Mekhi Bayer is still a dog. Andrew Simpson is still a dog. Kamari House is still a dog. Thaddeus Dixon is definitely still a dog, to say the least. Melcart was able to get in there and get him a sack today. Smith Vilbert was able to get in there some and stop some stuff. They did a good job stopping the run. At times, there were a couple of series where they had some issues with it, but overall, I think Richmond went for 124, which is a little bit more than you would want, but a lot of it came towards the end of the game when you had a lot of backups and everything in there as well. So I'll be curious to see exactly what kind of inflated some stats that Richmond kind of waited and made sure they got their field goal off on 3rd down to end the game. I thought that was kind of, it's kind of dumb, in my opinion, kind of pointless. But in this game, I felt like North Carolina has started to find a little bit of swagger, and that's really what we wanted to see. We wanted to see some swagger, we wanted to see some confidence, and I felt like we're seeing that now. I feel like we're now starting to see some improvements that we want to see. And, it's a little bit, you got to build a little by little, each game. But Gio, in my opinion, has got to be more confident in the pocket and more confident in general to be the leader of this offense. Now, the only time that he wasn't out there was when Autori Newkirk got subbed in and immediately threw a pick. It was baffling to me, to say the least. And the reason I say it's baffling is, number one, kudos to Freddie Kitchens on the play call when Autori came in. Typically Bill Belichick's not a guy to run the score up, so typically he's going to run the football. Once the game's securely in hand at that point in time. But he threw it. He let Autori spin it, and Autori was, going for Alex Taylor, who was, starting to get open, but he was bracketed at that time when he threw it. But surprisingly enough, Autori Newkirk was the quarterback that came in. No Max or no Bryce Baker. They went straight to like your fourth string guy, a guy who was a true freshman as well. And it was kind of shocking, and not shocking, but just baffling, I guess, to put him in. But hey, whatever, have at it. Do your thing over there. But running back wise, I felt like, to me, that it was good to see Chris Culver play. But running back wise, I think Damon June is definitely going to be your guy moving forward. I'm excited to see that kid, dude. That dude, I love him already, man. He reminds me a little bit of I'm a Rams fan, but Todd Gurley, just a little bit. He's got some of that nasty streak in him. Let him build up a little bit more over the course of the season and next year. And dude, I think he'll be a problem for teams to have to deal with. And if North Carolina can do a really good job in run blocking, they'll be even better. But Carolina is consistently building. They got 41 on the board today. Had a chance to go put up the score a little bit more, but the interception happened with Autori. But that's okay. North Carolina came out and they did what they needed to do. They covered today, and that's something that Carolina typically has an issue with. So for them to come out and kind of go through some offensive woes, but to hold the Spiders to 75 yards passing, had 3 turnovers today. I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that as a little bit more. So it wasn't a perfect game. There is a lot more for this team to do. I'm not saying that they're ready to go, win the ACC championship or anything like that right now. They still have a lot more to go, but they made a lot of progress, in my opinion. And not only that, but they're getting some confidence. And let this team get some confidence and get some more reps. Next week's going to be a challenge. You're going to be on the road. Can you carry that? And can your defense continue to improve? We will see. But I was pleased to see how this team played overall today. And I'm curious to see what they continue to do offensively. And the conversation with Gio is going to start to come up even louder, I believe, because of just some of the inerrant, baffling decisions and just kind of, I'm not going to say cluelessness, but searching for answers is the best way I can describe it. Just kind of searching and just kind of maybe too much in his head. So can he get calmed down? Because you got Clemson coming in here in 3 weeks. And the thing about it is Clemson got beat today. They're going to be pissed. They're going to be really upset. And they're going to be angry. And Cade Klubnik's going to want to come in and prove a point. And he's proved a point against North Carolina before in that ACC championship game a few years ago, if you guys remember. I do, because heck, I was in attendance for that game. 41 dropped on our heads, or 40 some odd dropped on our heads. So Carolina needs to continue to find some answers, and they got some positions solidified, man. And I'm really excited about that. Edge rushers, Makai was in there a good bit. Melcart, forced some pressure. Kamori House, Andrew Simpson, dude. I'm telling you, Andrew Simpson lit up a couple of different players today. So people are going to remember the name Andrew Simpson for Richmond for a little while. But this was a fun game. This was a great game to be at. It was an interesting time in my section that I was ushering. there was this like 74, 75-year-old grandmother who came in. She had like this band, let's just like happy birthday ribbon deal, had a little cowgirl hat on, and she was doing her thing. She had like the dress deal on. She was having herself a good time. So needless to say, it was a fun day inside of my section. It was a great time. But hopefully you guys are excited about what's going to happen with North Carolina moving forward. Let me know your thoughts, questions. We're going to talk a whole lot more about this on Sunday Tar Heel tomorrow, 2 to 3 p.m. live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter as well. Can't wait to see you guys there. Thank you guys so much for watching. And we'll see this place right here in just a few weeks when Clemson comes to town. Hope you guys are excited for that. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. And as always, go Heels.